and welcome to a new episode of Rustie Sheep. My name is Inez and I live in a city called Wetteren, Belgium. If you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's been a while. I've been saying that a lot lately. Actually, I recorded an episode about 2 weeks ago and I was done, I was editing, and I was like, there's something wrong with the sound. And then I noticed my mute button was on. So I recorded a half an hour without me knowing that the mute button was on. So it was really funny though. Like I was explaining with hand gestures as I do, and then there was no sound. So I look a bit tired. I am. It's been a weird couple of weeks. First, I lost my job. I'm not officially allowed to talk about it at the moment, but maybe I will in a later episode. But I'm still officially under contract, something like that, but I'm not working it anymore. At the first moment, I was like, okay, what the hell is going on? But then, secondly, I was like, oh, yes, thank you. I was so tired. Yeah, as I said, a lot was going on. I had exams and I was studying again. And, with work being behind the computer for 8 hours, I didn't have my motivation anymore. And I was really, really tired. I was also doing a detox of my body and I felt like I couldn't move at all. So for me, that was a blessing in disguise, like losing my job. They paid me for about 9 weeks. So I had money for 9 weeks. So that was good. And I have a new job already. So yeah, actually, we're Monday today. On Friday, they confirmed they want to work with me, and I'm actually signing my contract on Wednesday. So, and I'll be just starting the 1st of March, which is great. It gives me another 2 weeks, just slow down a bit and just be myself and knits and paints and whatever that I love to do, and not going out of the house, especially now. It's been snowing for 2 days, and yeah, I haven't been out of the house, honestly. So yeah, a lot has been going on. As I said, losing the job, having a new job, like looking for a new job. I had a few interviews over the last couple of weeks in the company I'm with now. Yeah, I'm really excited. There are 4 people. I'll be their first official employee. It's a startup. I'll be working as an account manager for an IT company. It's a huge change, but I'm looking forward to it. We have the same vision, we have the same mentality, the owners and I. So for me, that is great. Like even in my previous job, I had my own way of doing things. I had my own special way of doing things. I'm always a bit different than the mainstream people. What I mean with that is, as a recruiter, for example, we had to contact people and see if they were interested in a certain position or certain vacancy. But I'm a person who wants to get to know the person behind the job first to see if it's also a match. You kind of work in a random company that you don't know you don't know the mentality. So I always checked a bit with the person I was screening, who they were, what their ambitions were, for example, if they had preferences of kind of industries, and then do the match together instead of just calling them for 5 minutes, presenting the vacancy, and yeah, just trying to push them to accept that position, and now so we can present them to the company. I never worked like that. And most of the recruiters do, and that made me a bit different than all the rest. That I was genuinely, like, honestly interested in who they were. And I made some great connections, and I've met some great people because of that. And the company I'm going to work for now are the same. They were like long-term relationships, like having a good bond with them, having a good relationship with them, so you can build towards a future together. So I really believe in that mentality. Like, instead of just making money and doing business, it's like the people behind the business. And you know yeah, I hope that I'm trying to explain it well, is that we're all people, and money is a part of our life, and we need money to survive and to have food and houses and stuff like that. But we also, it's just sometimes more about the money. And yeah, that's a bit who I am. I am happy with the smallest things in life, like yarn, of course. Okay, so this is a yarn podcast. This is a knitting podcast. I'm surrounded by my plants. This is like my plants corner. I have an aloe vera here, and then a banana plant here, and there's some more plants behind me. Yeah, my plant corner. I love plants. So, I've been knitting on different things actually. I've been making a lot of hats apparently. I made 3 hats. One was in a collaboration with Juliana Lustenader. It was a Spindrift hat. I made, I think last year, I forgot to talk about that. It's a free pattern from Juliana. She uses chunky weight yarn. And I actually used 2 strands of worsted yarn to held together. And I test knitted that hat for her. And I'll put down a picture here. I made it for my friend Mariella, and she needed a hat, and it was a quick knit. I think I did it in one day. So yeah, check. I will also put down a link below, but check the pattern. It's a free pattern. It's nice and easy. It's got lovely lace in there. I really enjoyed knitting that pattern, and I think I will knit it again for myself because yeah, it's a lovely hat to wear, and it's a kind of a beanie style hat. So yeah. Then I went shopping with my colleague Michelle again. I knitted him a jumper last year, and I decided to knit him another jumper this year. And we went to buy yarn, and yeah, we bought yarn. It was really amazing to spend somebody else's money and you get the yarn. I love that. I should have more friends like that. Actually, I bought also a skein of tutus from Dormier, and I made a hat for my friend Lisa. And she was funny about it. A couple of weeks ago, she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to the Ardennes. The Ardennes is like another part of our country where it's a lot of forest and a lot of woods." And she was going there for a walk, and it was snowing then. And she was like, "Yeah, I could really use a hat." I was like, "Yeah, I know what she's talking about. I know what the point is behind that story. So she was here, and I started working on the hat on the Friday, and she was here on the Saturday, and I just kept knitting. I was like, okay, if you want a hat, just make sure I'm not doing anything in a house. She was in my house, but I was like, if you want to have some drinks, you know where the fridge is. And we always do some tapas. Like that's our Saturday or our Friday. Like we have a lot of tapas, and then I was like, I'm not doing anything. If you want a hat by the end of this evening, I'm like just sitting in a couch and I keep knitting. And that is like the compromise I'm willing to make with you. And I did. I did finish the hat, and she really loves it. It's in my favorite color. It's the Ramsley Bath, and yeah, it's just an amazing hat. And with seeing that hat, I got an idea to make my own hat pattern. So that is something on my list to do the next couple of weeks is design a hat. So yeah, I'm just going to see how I can do that. I have it visualized, but I haven't written it down yet. So maybe I will do that. So I made a hat for Lisa, and I'll put the picture down here. Um, and oh yeah, I was telling that I was shopping with Michelle, and actually the bag is just here, but it's almost empty because I've been knitting a lot. So my favorite yarn. I'll just get it. Anel. It's merino yarn. I've been to the factory. It's like €3 a wool. It's 100% wool, and it's amazing. It's really smooth. It's really nice to knit with. So yeah, I have a lot of those. I also have some green and some lighter gray because after that I'm making a dinosaur jumper for his kid. He has a son, and I think his son is about 5 years old or something, or 6. I have no clue at all, actually. Well, it's a kid's jumper I'm making in those colors. First, let me talk about the jumper I'm knitting for him. You know, he can't pick a jumper that I can just knit in the round. It's always knitted flat, and it's not my favorite way to do that. So it's called Limerick Henley. Let me just get the page. It's called Limerick Henley by Marianne Benedetto, but you know, I'll put a link down below. It's not sure if you can see it. It's a jumper, and I've actually knitted. Let me check. This is the back. Yeah, this is the back. So the back panel is done. It's 3 different kinds of patterns. It's like one pattern here, a rib here, and then a mistake rib here. So that's the back. Then I've been knitting on the front, but I'm a bit wary of the front because the pattern said to, you know, this is the back, but this is supposed to be the neck, but it's something weird at the back. I had to put aside some stitches for the left side panel, but then I had to keep knitting and create something like that. So I'm hoping it's not that extra work, you know, but I'm hoping it all fits together because I don't see it yet. And but I can do see, like, you know, this is the neck, and it does roll up, as you can see. And I still need to do the rib because the pattern calls for a provisional cast on, a crochet cast on, and it's not my favorite way to do that. I don't like to pick up the stitches afterwards, but I'm going to do it because sometimes it does make a whole of a difference. It makes a cleaner finishing touch, you know, or a nicer finishing touch. So I've got a bright blue thread that I use as a crochet cast on. But actually, now that I'm thinking, I should start blocking these parts because I'm doing the sleeve now. Let me just check because I don't want to. Yeah. The sleeves are just stocking net stitch, and then just increase like all the way up. So I'm halfway done the sleeve, something like that. So I'm almost there. So another sleeve, then I have to do the collar, and yeah, maybe I should start blocking those panels I already have. I've been enjoying this. It's always nice to knit something, and I didn't pay the yarn for. Yeah, oh, I'm a bit off today actually. So really looking forward how this is going to be. Hopefully my goal today is to finish up the sleeve and start the second one, and then I can see maybe I'll block everything separately. I'll just have a look in the pattern what it says because actually I haven't been paying attention to that. So I'm also knitting on my socks, my Christmas socks. I've been knitting on that for a while now. I started it before Christmas, and we're February right now. But I have a heel, and I'm now doing like the leg from the sock. I've got toes, a foot, a heel. Those are my socks when I have to go somewhere and I have to wait perhaps. And I only have one pair of socks on the needles right now. It's a stranded yarn, stranded dye wax, and it's the Christmas colorway she had, Zooming Home for Christmas. And it's lovely, you know, but for me, it doesn't feel like Christmas socks. For me, their Christmas socks are like whites, bright red, bright green, stuff like that. So, but it's really nice though, and the fabric is the feel of it is also really lovely. Mind you, I have a 64 stitch count. I normally use a 60 stitch count for my socks, but it was actually a bit too narrow when I tried it on. The 60, it was not big enough, and apparently 4 stitches do make a difference. So, you know, if I'm doing the heel, I'm always doing a German short row heel, and I know these numbers, and now I had to calculate a bit because there was only 2 stitches extra, but it yeah, it just took me off. I actually knitted this heel last week on Wednesday while I was waiting. In Belgium, I'm actually recently new driver. I haven't had my driver's license for that long. I think it's a year and a half now. My official driver's license. You also have a learning period, and that is an extra year. But I've been driving in total for 2 years and a half now. But in Belgium, it's so they have a new rule. Like if you're a recently new driver, you need to go back and follow an extra course. And it's like a safety course, like road safety, and you get numbers of how many people die in accidents and car crashes and stuff like that. It's a bit, yeah. I don't, it's a bit, it's not, if they tell you, yeah, you're like every day somebody dies in traffic due to a car crash. I was like, yeah, but that's awful to say. And then the person who taught the course, she was like, you are going to die, you are going to die. I was like, this is so awful. It's just so demotivating. We also had some extra courses, and that was fun. Emergency brake, we had to do slip course, like following um, a road, and you had to there were some objects on the road you had to avoid, and the car slipped, and how to handle your steering wheel. I also drove an automatic electric car. It's a Yeah, I drive a diesel, so for me, I don't drive an automatic, I drive with a stick. And it's weird in the beginning. As soon as you leave the gas or let go of the gas, the car starts moving. It was like, okay, gas, sorry, the brake. So you have your foot on the brake, you put it on drive, and then the car just starts driving. If as soon as you let go of the gas, the brake. Sorry, I'm doing it again. Yeah. So it was a fun morning. It took 4 hours, and it was more fun than I actually thought it would be. So well, yeah. So we had to be there around 8 o'clock in the morning, but it was close to like to get there. The roads are really busy because it's like on the highway where a lot of highways come together, so you could have a lot of traffic. So I left really early. I was there by 7:25, and yeah, I had to wait a half an hour. So what do? I knit as always. So I actually did the heel while I was sitting there waiting for the course to start. And I don't care. Like people were watching me. They were like afterwards, they were like, "What were you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I was knitting a sock." So I don't care what people think about that. I used to actually. I used to be like always wary of what people watch you when you're in a public space and you take your knitting and you start knitting. Automatically, people will start watching you, and that is something that for me in the beginning I was afraid to do, but now I don't care anymore. I just knit, and that I'm just focused on there. But I do feel the eyes sometimes, like when you're in a hospital waiting, for example, or like the course. But now I just take my knitting with me, and look, it's my nice bag, and I actually forgot who it's from. I think it's from, no, actually I can't remember where I bought this, but I have always my knitting with me. So remember last episode, and I should have started with this, but I was knitting this jumper. This is a Campside pullover from Alicia Plummer, and I knitted this out of Barham U Bantam colorway Winterburn DK. So in the DK weight of Barham U, and the colorway it's called Bantam. And I was in love with this fabric, this yarn for ages, and now I have my own jumper. And honestly, I've been wearing it a lot. So let me just show you. I have a bright top underneath, so it does make it look a bit weird, but It fits perfectly. It's, oh, look at those raglan eyelash, no, eyelash, raglan. Oh, it's amazing. I'm oh, so in love with this jumper. It does peel a lot, as you can see. It peels, but I don't care. You know, the first couple of days I was constantly doing like this, touching myself. Um, yeah, but this is amazing. Like, um, yeah, and then of course I'm going to order extra yarn. It's not cheap, you know, it's not easy to get, and I have a shop where I used to live who sells it, but only few colors. So, and I have another pattern in mind. It's called the Cherry Top from Skein Knits. And I want to knit it out of Barham U Winterburn again because I'm so in love with this yarn, and I have been for a while. You know, I have another jumper in Titus. I've knitted a shawl, a hat for Alicia now. So I've been using. Oh yeah, right. And I actually knitted 2 jumpers for my friends last year in that with that brand as well. So yeah, the winter burn is pilling, and I'm not sure if anyone else has the same problem with that. But look, I still have. I've been finding those like bits all over the floor lately. Even at my parents' house, my stepmom was like, "Oh, that's my jumper. Don't worry." So yeah, but you know, it's really really lovely, and I'm oh, as I said, I'll be wearing this jumper a lot. So this is my cozy, yeah, jumper. Okay, so this episode is not going the way that I wanted. I've been all over the place again, but well, you know that about me. That is who I am. Um, actually, um, Michelle, my colleague, who I'm knitting the jumper for, he's always very grateful, and he loves the jumpers that I'm making for him, and he's a big fan, you know, and because he sees the worth of a jumper, he actually describes it as a pièce unique. It's a one of a kind. Okay, the pattern maybe has been knitted by many people, but it's your own. I knitted it with my own hands, and the fabric, no one else has it in that fabric or colorway or whatever. It is a special piece, and he takes his other jumper he's been wearing a lot. I was like, Michelle, you sometimes take another jumper because you're wearing it too much. So that's also the reason I'm knitting him a new one, so he can just like change them. Um, as I said, he's always very grateful for me knitting him a jumper, and yeah, he actually bought me a knitting machine as a thank you. I haven't used it yet. I did clean it, but the thing is, my dining room table is too thick to click on the knitting machine on, so I need to go buy a new side table and rearrange my living room a bit so I can, you know, I know I have a second bedroom, but it's all the way upstairs and I hardly use it. And it's more of a storage room now, but I could easily make into my hobby room and my creative room. The thing is, yeah, I know myself. I won't go all the way up to do that. I'll just move everything down and do it in the living room while I'm watching TV or something. So I know this about myself, and I know I have an amazing room upstairs. It's actually all over my house, so it's a huge room I can use as a creative room. But I know myself. Yeah. So I'm rearranging the living room a bit so I can, yeah, put the table down there. And maybe when I'm done, or finishing something, I can move it up. But I'm no, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, but I have to go out and go to a furniture store, and that is something I really want to avoid right now. I don't go out a lot. Like I've been in the house for 2 days now. I did go out on Saturday because I had to buy some new clothing because for the new job I need more professional clothing. The business dresses, blouses, like really business, professional pants and stuff like that. So, but I only went out for 2 hours. And yeah, I'm not a big fan on going shopping and especially furniture store. In Belgium, that is people's day out, going to a furniture store. It's like we have the furniture stores are open on Sundays, some of them. So you can just stroll around in the shop and look at furniture and decorating your house. I was like, yeah, I'm not a person like that. For me, I know I know a bit what I want, and I just need a side table, like where I can click on. It doesn't need. Yeah, I'm just putting my hair up, so where I can just click on the knitting machine. So, and I've been saying it for 2 weeks now that I need to do that. So I'm not keen on just going out. So yeah, I think I know one more thing. Um, and actually tried to tell it to say it 2 times already, but my crazy mind. I also knitted a hat for Michelle while we were in the store. He was like, "Oh, I lost my hat." I was like, "Yeah, okay, I know what you're saying." So I actually knitted 2 hats in 2 days. I started it on a Friday, and I just did a stripe pattern. Actually, it's the horizon hat I did. Let me just check Ravelry, okay? Because I do remember using a pattern. I thought I just did something. But no, actually, I did the horizon hats from Emily Dormier. And I'll show a picture. Let me just see if I could do that. That's the light is. You know what? I'll just put the big picture down here. And I used two different colors. He's been nagging my ears off for a red and dark blue jumper or hat. And for me, I thought those colors didn't really match. But then I knitted the hat and it was really lovely, of course. And then it was like a hat from Tommy Hilfiger. You know the brand, they use that color and they also use white in it. But it felt like it. So yeah, but he loves it. He's been wearing his hats, and that's the most important thing. Him wearing the hat, him loving the hat, whatever I think of, I don't care. And I was done in a couple of hours. So yeah, finished object, a jumper, 3 hats, no, 2 hats, and almost a jumper again. And actually, honestly, I haven't been knitting a lot. I've been painting a lot. I have 2 extra paintings, one in my bathroom, like the guest bathroom, and one in the living room. And actually, this is the first one I ever painted. So, my dear. But yeah, I've been painting a lot and just reading a lot as well. Oh, yeah. I am reading this book because I've been working on myself a lot, meditating and trying to figure out who I am, what is important for me in my life, what are my goals, what are my ambitions and stuff like that. So that was I did that. I've been doing that for the last year and a half, something like that. And now it's time to go deeper. So I've been reading this book. It's called Healing of Your Inner Child. And it's really confronting. There's flashbacks coming back from when I was a kid. Things that I didn't really remember anymore is coming back. And I had a special life. My mom passed away about 5 years ago. We moved around a lot, making new friends. At that time, I felt sometimes being alone in the world, like starting and meeting new people again. I was always the weird one in class. I was always like fluent in few languages, but moving around, starting over again, it always felt like, yeah, I didn't have a home. I didn't have one place where I grew up. I have many places where I grew up. So, but and afterwards thinking of that is the reason I'm very social and I'm a very open person. So that's the other side of the medal. And but reading that book is, yeah, confronting sometimes, but also nice. It takes you back to your childhood. And I know I remember saying in a previous episode, like, okay, you've had a bad childhood and you need to move on, and you need to work with that. It's not because you had a bad childhood that you need to wallow in it. So for me, it's no, I'm in a chapter that I need to revisit my favorite movies as a child. So I have Disney Plus, and I've been watching Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin. I've been watching. It just takes me back. Mulan, Pocahontas as well. It just takes me back, when I was a kid and like dreaming and fantasizing and still believing the world was beautiful. We all know it isn't. But it reminds me to find the beauty within, and the beauty is there is beauty in our world, but you need to look further than that. And also, um, it made me read my favorite book as a child. And I've been just loving that. I felt like, I think I was beginning of the teenagers, like around 11 or 12 when I started reading that book. And it's a Dutch book. It's called The Dolphin Child. And I'm not sure if there's a translation of that book, but it's in Dutch. And yeah, it's about a boy who was born on the water, like a water birth, and he has a deep connection with dolphins, and yeah, and they go on adventures. And that was my favorite book when I was a kid, and I just ordered it, and I've been reading, and I'm actually halfway through. And for me, I combine it as well, like taking a long bath and just reading that book. And not yesterday, but the week before, I was in the bath for 3 hours, just reading that book and just enjoying being in a bath. And I really miss that. That's a feeling I really miss, taking a long bath and foam and just relax and read a book and listen to music. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. So that's something, healing of your inner child is important because, you know, our first years of our life, we are developing skills. We're taking everything. We're like a sponge. We take everything. And certain things we don't need anymore, or something has happened, for example, and it really changes you as a person. You carry it on with you for the rest of your life. And I don't want to have that anymore. I just want to be, you know, the person I can be. I don't want to be held back, and I don't want to be in chains, for example. I just want to move forward and keep the past in the past, and just I've dealt with a lot of things, and I thought I had everything done, but no. That book really shows you that there's still stuff from the past, or things you couldn't even remember, but it is an issue. It does, for some reason, formed you in a way. So, but enough about that. It's been 33 minutes. You've been listening to me for way too long now. I did have a lot of content except for showing you pictures. But yeah, thank you for watching this episode, and I hope you have a lovely knitting day. Bye bye.